To understand the retail demand of our study area, we look at a market area of 15-minute drive time from the center of our study corridor. There are approximately 19,000 households in this market area that are currently being served by 1.4 million square feet of retail in the region. Calculating the demand shows that there is a retail gap of approximately 300,000 square feet in the market area. Assuming that Mascota could capture 10% of this retail gap, we can say that currently there is a potential of approximately 30,000 square feet of retail space in Mascota. A closer look at the demand begins to show the types of retail that could find a potential market on Main Street, Mascota. There are opportunities for retail such as home furnishing, jewelry shops, apparel stores, specialty food and liquor stores, pharmacies, etc. These type of stores are well situated for Main Street retail environments and contribute to its vibrancy. Grocery stores and restaurants are currently oversupplied in the market area, but have a potential to find some space on the main street, given the corridor is able to attract new residents and visitors. City of Mascota can leverage this market potential by continuing some of its current initiatives, such as utilizing the TIF district to finance some of the catalyst projects on Main Street and promoting the facade improvement program for existing businesses on the corridor. In addition, the city can provide design assistance, low and no interest loans to ensure support for small businesses. Illinois State Historic Tax Credit Program can be utilized to rehabilitate and renovate the historic buildings on the corridor. A community improvement district, which is a local special taxing district that collects revenues within its designated boundaries, can be used to pay for special public facilities, improvements, and services on the corridor. To understand the housing demand for Mascota, we looked at a market area stretching from the eastern boundaries of the county to the west of Mascota, including Lebanon and parts of O'Fallon, Shiloh, and Belleville. There are approximately 20,500 households in this market area, with a median income of $65,000. Younger families moving to the city have a preference for smaller housing units, including rental properties. Additionally, Main Street corridor is well situated to provide a mix of housing options, which will in turn contribute to its vibrancy and diversity of land uses. The demand analysis shows a good potential for rental units ranging from $1,000 to $1,500 a month, and Mascota can currently support 120 of such units. Housing options at these price points are generally feasible from a construction point of view, and include options such as apartments and townhomes for rent. These housing products work well in a downtown environment. The city has a great stock of historic homes around downtown. Family-owned historic bed and breakfasts are a lucrative product for downtown market and a great way to attract more people to the Main Street corridor. This activity can support and sustain businesses on Main Street, along with providing a unique identity to the study area. Neighborhoods to the south of Mascota have some vacancy, approximately 13% vacant housing units. Homes in this part of town are on smaller lots, and about 60% are occupied by 1 to 2% households. These neighborhoods present an opportunity to provide housing options for younger families that are just starting out. Strategies such as a rental licensing program can improve and maintain quality of housing stock in these neighborhoods. The city should also consider a review of existing zoning codes to allow for a better, more diverse mix of housing than what is currently permitted. It is important that the southern part of the town is well connected with the Main Street corridor as well as the rest of the city and has access to amenities such as public parks, trails, retail, etc., so that it's able to attract more developmental activity.
As we look at land use from a citywide scale, you can see the role of our study area corridor, which is in the magenta color, in the traditional city of Mascouda. To the north of that is what we call traditional residential, individual lots, primarily single family, but different kinds of housing development. But primarily concentrated south of Harnett. To the south of our corridor is a much more rural kind of development pattern with more spread out houses, sometimes larger lots, other kinds of housing forms like mobile homes as well. Um, and then to the north of Harnett and even farther north is the contemporary parts of the city that are primarily single family. You can see from a citywide scale as well that Mascouda, for a city of its size, has relatively little retail or commercial development. Those are those two red boxes north on Highway 4 and a relatively small amount of higher density housing. There senior living, some apartments, some attached townhouses, but by and large, the city is primarily single family. So that is the land use context in the city that our study along Main Street addresses.
Also, at the city scale, it is important to look at the bike and pedestrian network to understand how people walk and bike around Mascouda. This is a look at the network, including existing locations and proposed future locations relative to the project area on Main Street. It includes a mixture of different types of places for people to bike to ensure users of all ages and abilities can safely and comfortably access Main Street, as well as the neighborhoods to the north and the south. We will now walk through these types. The solid green line, as well as what is pictured in the top right, is the existing shared use path on the Big Ditch. A shared use path is a place for people to walk and bike completely separate from where people drive. They are usually around 12 to 15 feet in width, but can be built at 10 feet wide in some constrained areas. The solid and dashed yellow/green lines are ideas of potential shared use path locations. Solid lines refer to building these paths where the existing right-of-way is currently. This is land that a public agency already owns. Whereas dashed lines refer to an agency purchasing land to build the path on new public right-of-way. The lines pictured on this slide would be ideal locations for a shared use path. These are a more expensive treatment as they require more land and infrastructure for the full build out. Complementing the shared use path recommendations are the recommendations for bicycle boulevards, indicated on this map in solid blue and pictured in the top right. Bicycle boulevards are spaces that are truly shared space for people walking, biking, and driving. They are ideal for roads with a small amount of motorists, low volume, and roads where speed is slower, usually around 20 to 25 miles per hour. On these roads, traffic calming tools such as bump outs or speed humps, enhanced wayfinding and branding are used to slow down motorists to a closer speed to that of a cyclist. They are a good, affordable option for filling out a bike network and are an ideal treatment for connecting neighborhoods north of Main Street given the slow nature of the side streets.